Hi everybody. Okay, this is the second time that I have filmed this because my storage on my phone got full. So unfortunately I had a good camera and we had some guests who stayed here and it suddenly disappeared, so I assume that it fell into someone's luggage. So hello and welcome to episode 3 of Knitting in My Closet. And as you can see, it does look a little different. I did take out the ironing board because I've been using it a lot. And I have been, my buying ban lasted less than a week because I had to go to the store to buy gifts for other people. And when I do that, I find things I like. So that didn't last. I'm going to start it over, I swear, on January 1st. Because since I have to buy all these gifts for everybody, it's really hard not to buy things that I see that, you know, is like, oh, shiny. So, yeah. So I had to go to a yarn store 2 days ago, I think, yeah. And the reason I had to go is because on my Ravelry group, which is fall is my favorite, we have been doing a fall Halloween swap, and we had a couple of people drop out at the last minute, and then somebody who wanted to surprise a relative who was not doing well. She had been in the hospital, and so we did a surprise one, and so I ended up sending 4 boxes, and I only had enough stuff to send for 3, so I had to go and buy another one, another yarn, a skein of yarn. And what I decided was, for the swap, what you had to do was you had to choose a scarf or shawl pattern, and then you had to send them at least 100 grams of yarn, plus the pattern, plus something Halloweeny or fall, and then, you know, something snackable. And then, so they've all been sending them this last week. And the surprise one was really, it was so much fun. It went over really well. And you can go and see it if you want to. It's on the group under the fall Halloween swap. And but the thing is that I while I was there, I didn't buy just 1 skein of yarn. I bought 3. And little disclaimer, I got super excited, and I was so excited to be inside there because I haven't been in a local yarn shop in ages because we don't have one. The closest one is about 45 minutes, and that's where I went. We used to have one that was about 20 minutes from here, but it closed last year. And I had another one that was my favorite that was closer to downtown Portland, and that one closed 3 years ago or something. Yeah, so they're all just closing around us. And I didn't feel like going to downtown Portland, so I went somewhere else, and it was just really dangerous to be in there. But I ended up buying some yarns, and one of them I'm going to take back because I made a huge mistake. I got overexcited, and I forgot to check and see if they were ethically sourced. And one of them isn't. Now, if you want to understand the reason why that's important to me, I will tell you at the end of this video. And I will, you know, announce it. This is where you really are gonna be very sad if you continue to watch. But you will know the reality. So, if you want to hear about that, stay to the end of the video. If not, it's okay, because it is quite horrible. I am also going to link a video in the description box where you can see what I'm describing. But if you have a sensitive stomach, or you are just sensitive to pain and suffering of other creatures, don't watch it. Just don't. It will ruin your entire life. So, anyway, especially as a knitter. If I completely understand if you have to live in the dark. It's okay, because this is so freaking horrible that it stayed in my head for weeks. I cried, you know, I wouldn't put that on anybody. I won't buy it. The stuff that is sourced this way, but which is unfortunately the majority. But I'm not going to force that on anybody, and this will be the only time I talk about it in depth. I mean, I will say whether something has been ethically sourced or something or not, but that's it. Now, this is the one that was not ethically sourced, and this one, unfortunately, I'm going to return. Oh, what happened to my glasses? Oh, sorry. I'm going to return, and I'll exchange it for an ethically sourced one. It's absolutely freaking beautiful, and I love it, but I can't figure out if it's been ethically sourced. I don't know. But what I'll try to do first, and this will help in the future for other people who are interested in this, there is a website, and I will go on there and see if I can figure it out. If I can't figure it out, or if it's not, for sure not ethically sourced, this will go back, and I will exchange it for a different one. Now, the good news is that there are a couple of mainstream yarn companies that are ethically sourced, and Malabrigo is one of them. Whoa, that's blowing out really bad. Okay, Malabrigo is one of them, and this is absolutely stunning. I love this. Unfortunately, well, fortunate for her, but unfortunately for me, this is going in a swap that's going to happen later in the year for Christmas. So, but it's so soft. It's just so soft and squishy, and I just love it, and such beautiful colors. So, yeah, I got that one. The other one, unfortunately, I had to send it the same day, so it was just really pretty fall colors, and yeah, so sorry, you don't get to see that one. Then I also, their clearance area had all these, a bunch of these Rowan books, and there's several things in here I would like to make, although some of them are just so very, very 70s. Okay, I don't like that. Oh, this is actually in my my Ravelry queue, and that's this, which I know it's unusual and odd, but I actually love it. And I can't tell, is that crochet? I think it is. I think it's a crocheted jacket. And normally I don't like crocheted clothing, but I love that jacket. And then I'd like to make this for my husband. Sorry about the light. I don't know what is going on. Let's turn this a little bit, see if that helps. Is that better? Somewhat, yeah. Anyway, can't get rid of that glare. There we go. And so, yeah, I really like that. I don't think that color would look good on my husband, although he has similar coloring to the guy in the photo. But I do like that one a lot. And I think this one is in my Ravelry queue as well. So I was very, very excited to see this, and let's see, I don't like that. See, now these right here I think are very unflattering because of the length. At least for people like me. She's very thin and narrow, but I have hips. I'm quite curvy, so this would not look good on me. Plus I don't like the patterning on it. I do like this one, so that will go into my queue. And I absolutely love giant shawls. I love them. So I'm definitely going to put that one in the queue. And, or wraps, whatever you want to call them. And I think there was one more that I just, see, that's just, no. I like this one, but I would have to make it just a little bit shorter, by maybe 2 inches, because that's a bad place for clothing to stop on me. And then Is this it? This might be it. I like this one. And that one's a much better length for me, I think. I like the cabling on it. I love that it looks like chain links. That's not good. Was that it? Okay, I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to make it. But I think the styling of the photo is freaking weird. Why would you put this shirt on her? It's strange. I don't like that. Oh, I love this. This is another one that I like. And I don't know, what month did this come out? This is number 58, Rowan magazine number 58. Do they have a... I guess not. So if that helps you, if you're interested in any of these. I don't like the sleeve length on that. I do like this, but I've yet to find an ethical source for mohair. So I don't know if Malabrigo has any. They might. I don't know. I'll look. But yeah, I really like that. So these were on sale for 50% off. So I got this for $12, which still, you know, for a lot of us, including myself, that's kind of high. And oh, okay, I like this one. But you know, it was still because it had some patterns that were in my Ravelry queue. I went ahead and got it because I would have had to get it at some point anyway. So yeah, so I got that along with the yarns. And then on the way back, I stopped at Value Village because they have a section in the back that has old patterns and crafting supplies and stuff. So I check for interesting yarns because sometimes they have some, you know, people will clear out their basements or their attics or their relatives' houses after a death or whatever, and they put them, they'll take them to charity, and what they do is Value Village puts them in a plastic bag, and there's usually, you know, whatever will fit in this amount. So sometimes they're vintage, which is really great if you can find some vintage wools, and that was before the non-ethical sourcing became a thing, and so that's okay. And sometimes they have cross-stitch things, and so I found 2 pieces of Ada, and I think they're like $9 a piece when they're new, something like that. I don't know, I could have just paid regular price. I have no idea how much these are actually, but it's 14 by 18. These are 14 count, and wow, that's really, it's just plain ivory. Is it ivory? Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't say. It looks ivory. And then this one I thought was really interesting because it has a pattern on the back. I mean, in the background. So, okay, I can't see because my phone is sending me a message. All right, there we go. See those swirls? I thought that would be really cool behind something. And they did it behind, like they have a picture down here I'm going to show you of. See that? Isn't that pretty? And yeah, so I thought that was interesting, and I got those. And then I had to stop at Goodwill. I think I told you about this before. I don't remember if I did or not. But what we do on Thanksgiving is we, at the beginning of November, we start a reverse Advent box. And what we do is, like, each day we'll put in things that we can take either to a shelter or to the homeless, and that goes all the way to the end of the year. But we do it in spurts. So on Thanksgiving Day, what we do is we go, in Portland, there's particular areas where there are homeless encampments and stuff, and it doesn't matter to me how they became homeless. The fact is that it's freaking cold on the street, and you know, if they have mental problems, if they, you know, if they're victims of violence, or they are, they have legal problems or whatever, what we do is we take packaged food, things that they can, like, what we normally do is we go to Costco, and then we buy a big case filled with chips and things like that, things that have carbs and with fat and stuff in them, so that they can, you know, insulate themselves, basically, because, you know, it's harder to get fats when you're on the street. And, you know, we get some other food items and stuff that I don't make, because unfortunately there's always going to be somebody who, when given something free, will sue you. I don't know if you know this is just a side, a tangent, but I don't know if you know this story, but I live in Oregon, and so the Nike campus is here. And what Nike used to do is, when they had shoes that simply didn't sell, and they got, you know, they had been sitting in their warehouse or whatever for years, or they, you know, for some reason there was just, they couldn't sell them. What they would do is they would give them to the homeless. And then somebody sued them when he got a blister on his foot from having new shoes. Like, that wouldn't happen to you anyway. And so now what they do, unfortunately, they have to do this to protect themselves. They take a box cutter and slash the bottom, so that, and then they throw them in the garbage, so that if you have a slash across the bottom of your shoe, then they know that it was something that was thrown out of the garbage. You dug it out of the garbage, and so they're not liable. And I think that's horribly unfortunate, which means also that I can't, like, make turkey and give them turkey sandwiches and things like that. So we're going to be taking packaged food, and then we also gather up blankets and coats and gloves and hats. And so usually I get, I think it's at Joann's. I get gloves at Joann's, because around Christmas time they have, like, these 2-packs of the stretchy gloves that they're 2 pairs for $1. I mean, for $2. And so that means that I can get quite a few of them. And so I picked up some of those. I went to Joann's and picked up some of those. I don't think I bought anything else while I was there. Oh, I bought some, what is that called? Interfacing. I bought some more interfacing because I had run out and I couldn't finish the bags I was working on. So, yeah, so I bought that. And then next, right across the street from Joann's, is Goodwill, and I went over there to see if I could find some decent blankets at, you know, good price, because they're usually like $5, and then I can get more of them. And I'd like to, you know, as long as the blankets don't have holes in them and aren't gross, then I can, you know, hand them out. And so I go ahead and buy some of them at Goodwill. Some we go, like, if we find a really great sale. And sometimes I buy coats. I didn't find any coats, and I didn't find any blankets. It was not a great day in there. It's hit or miss, because obviously it's things that people donate. So, but I did find this really great embroidery book, and I used to do silk ribbon embroidery all the time, and I used to teach classes in it, and I haven't done it in ages, but I thought, you know, it'd be really interesting to get back into it. Now, some of this stuff, I'm not a big user of buttons on things, but I do love silk and ribbon embroidery a lot, so I was really excited to find that. And then my husband and I do, we have a puzzle collection. I got into puzzles, well, the first time when I was a kid, because, you know, it used to take up our time, so my mom bought puzzles. But then it was ages. I mean, the last time I did a puzzle when I was a kid, I don't know, it must have been like 10 or something, which would make it 46 years ago. So, when I was in law school, however, the library had puzzles so that you could kind of, you know, empty out your mind of the law and do something mindless, you know, just put the puzzle together so it would relieve some of the stress. And so I got heavily back into puzzles while I was in law school. And this one is still, it's still together. So I bought this one, and we have a lot of the Charles Wysocki. So, and my husband he loves boats, and he used to have one, and so I got that. I give him that for Christmas. We around here, this house, it doesn't matter if it comes from Goodwill, if it's in good shape, or if it's something that you've been looking for ages and can't find, and that's because it wastes less resources, and you know, I don't mind used books as long as they're not, you know, falling apart or covered with coffee. I am unfortunately guilty of spilling my coffee constantly, and I wouldn't want to buy a book at Goodwill. But as a disclaimer, Goodwill does not put out books that have been ruined. They're actually really good about that. And then I also found this. This is actually brand new. So, but I thought it was so pretty, and I thought it would make a really nice gift. You know, fill it with something Christmassy for somebody who needs, you know, to be reminded that every day is beautiful. And it's, I mean, look, it's pristine, it's perfect. And so I will fill that with something amazing and send it to somebody at Christmas. So that's all of the haul for today. And then, okay, I bought new coffee. I did buy new coffee. It's coconut turmeric, and I don't know how that's going to taste, but this isn't it. I haven't opened it yet. This is my husband's coffee. Okay, not too bad today. Usually paint thinner, it's so horrible, but no, today actually it's pretty good. Okay, so let's show you some whips. Now this time I really am going to edit. I'm going to edit, and I'm going to show you this picture. So first I'm going to show you the picture of what it is I'm making, and this is called something like Pumpkin Like a Boss or something. I don't remember. Anyway, when I showed it to you last time, I didn't realize that I had mixed up a color, and there was not supposed to be yellow on there. I hadn't looked at the actual front picture because I didn't print it out. All I did was print out the chart. So I took that out and I replaced it with the gray, and so I haven't gotten very much of it done since then. I've been working on other things, but yeah, so got a little of that done. Then I also, unfortunately, I frogged the Boo Knits. Why is that sticky? I frogged the Boo Knits shawl because I had, all right, I'm a person who needs to do mindless knitting and mindless crocheting and things that I just don't have to think about because I've got like 8 million things going on, and so I have to pay a lot of attention, and sometimes about half the time when it's something not related to work, you know, when I'm just doing other things, my mind tends to wander. So and just usually it wanders to something that is related to work. Anyway, so what I had done is I had done the first part of the pattern wrong. It said that it was supposed to be in garter stitch, and I did it in stockinette. And I actually, so I posted something on the Boo Knits Ravelry group about it, and some people were like, you know, just go with what you like. And then some people were like, well, it's going to ruin the design. And I okay, so I was like, yeah, well, okay, whatever, but if I like it, who cares? And then I thought, well, you know what, I should start it all the way correctly from the beginning and see if I even like it. So I frogged it back, and here's my, I think I showed you these already, yeah, the beads. And did I show you this? This is the, oh, I think I did, yeah. It's in my black cat bag. And so now, unfortunately, I've been watching, people are now on Clue 6 came out today. So they're on Clue 5, and I'm finding that I don't like the garter stitch in the pictures that people are posting. I think it looks misplaced. So I'm going to do it the way I was doing it in the first place, which is with the stockinette at the beginning. And, you know, I'm going to be wearing it. So, yeah. So that I started over. And on my knits for my makes for the month, I wanted to make 6 bags, and I have made completely 5, and I am in the process of making, I think, 4 more, but 3 of them have been sent away as gifts. So I have 2 left, and one of them is the one with the teenager. I don't know why I didn't bring that in, but I only brought the knitting from it. And so I'm making the current shawl, which I will put a picture. And I did a lot, I think. I have this knot that came out of the middle of one of my skeins, and I've been dealing with that for like a week. It's such a pain. So I'm going to try not to include that. And yeah, so it's coming along. It's a lot bigger than it was, but I still have 50 rows to go before I'm finished. But I'm actually loving the way the heathering is coming out because of the 2 different skeins. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. And yeah, I think it was an excellent choice, even if I say so myself. But and it's just Knit Picks wool and some, what is it? Is it Loops and Threads or Lion? I think it's Lion brand wool like, and I just put them together. Yeah. So what am I doing? What size am I doing this on? I'm doing this on a size 6 circular. And I know some people get really upset when they don't have enough room on, or if their loops aren't long enough. But you know, this seems to be fine. We'll see once we get it to, you know, 50 rows more. And the good thing is that this one it's really easy to remember the little sections. So I can just, you know, make one section, make another section, and then I remember all the way right into the row, so I can do it mindlessly after that. I've made a couple of mistakes, but I have gone back and fixed them, and everything's fine. And then is that all? I guess that's all. So this week I am going to, what is that? See, I find these things that are in a pile, and I'm sorry, that's really sad because I am an adult, not a teenager. But somehow, I think one of the boxes, I have these plastic bins, you know, everybody has them, and I think one of them got dumped out, and I don't know how that happened except for that we have a cat from hell. His name is Pasha. He is so freaking smart. It is really, really scary, because if he had opposable thumbs, I think the world would be in danger of takeover. He he's amazingly smart, but he is also a destructor. So we call him Destructive Boy. And I think he might have dumped it over and then, you know, wallowed around in it. And then on top of that, I think my husband put laundry on the floor. Not dirty laundry, clean laundry. And then some of this has got to be my fault, I'm sure. But, it's looking sad. Anyway, so I am going to make, I just found this. I don't even remember buying this. Is it a Joanne? Oh, no. I think I bought this at, maybe I did buy it at Joann's. Except for it doesn't have Joann's tag. $1.99. Oh, wait. This might have come from Michael's. I don't know how long it's been sitting in here. But I have to remember to take my bag. I'm going to throw it over there, close to the door. Because I have to remember to take my bags to the grocery store. I never remember. Anyway, so I'm going to go through a little of this. Actually, you know what? I would like to do a giveaway. Now, please don't be mad. I've had this pattern for about 25 years. I have never used it. Now, it does have a little bit of sun bleaching at the top because, as I said, I've had it forever. But it is complete. It's not used, and it's not dirty or anything. It's just, I mean, it's got some sun bleaching. So let's do a giveaway. I will choose somebody at random who leaves a comment down here and tells me if they've ever been on a buying ban, how long has it lasted before you gave in. And you will get this pattern. This is Felted Clogs. And I bought this at a yarn shop, I think in Seattle, 25 years ago. I think so. I can't even tell you which one. I have no idea. But anyway, it has not been used, and I will replace the plastic cover so it's brand new. And sorry, it does have some sun damage. See where it's a little bit different color. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. And if you would like this, then tell me in the comments, you know, how long your buying ban lasted before you messed it up. And then I will do a random drawing in the next video. And then I will send you this. Because I don't felt. Yeah, I don't. So there you go. And is that it? I think that's it. So if you want to, let's see where you can find me. You can find me at Ravelry. On Ravelry, I'm This Fit Knitter, and I have two groups. One for knitting and crochet, and that is called Fall is My Favorite. And you don't have to like fall if you just want to come hang out. It's just that happens to be my favorite season. And of course, Halloween is the greatest holiday ever. And the other one is for cross stitch and embroidery, and that one is called It's Stitchin Time. And I will put all of these in the section below in the show notes. And you can also see more detailed show notes in the Ravelry group. And let's see, I don't have Twitter, I don't like it, and I don't have Facebook. But I do have Instagram, and that is also This Fit Knitter. And yeah, so you can find me there. Just want to take one more look and see. And then, okay, so this is the part where I'm going to tell you what happens to the sheep. So don't watch it if you're too sensitive. Really, I'm serious. Don't. It's not worth it. If you want to know, if you really, really need to know, and need to know that I'm telling you the truth, then watch the video. that I'm going to link down below, and here I'm going to tell you, so stop right here if you don't want to hear it. What they do to sheep is, in factory farms, it's really horrible. They do two different things. One is that sheep, their fur is, really thick. It's their wool. So on the outside of their skin it goes, and then that is on their whole body. So that includes their tail and around their butt. So what they do, so sheep, when they poo, it gets stuck. And so instead of just, either discarding that section of wool, and, not using that, not cleaning it, not selling it, or just cleaning it extra good, and, or pre-shaving it so that it doesn't get in, there's no poo balls. What they do on factory farms, and of course, as I said, not everybody does this. It's largely an American thing. I don't know. They might do it in Australia, but I don't think so. I don't know. I would have to do some more research. But here on the farms where they want to produce a lot of wool, what they do is they slice down either side of the very back above the tail with a box cutter, and then they rip the skin off around the animal's backside and off his tail. And they don't use any antiseptics. They don't use any antibiotics. They don't use painkillers, and they don't care for the animal after that. So it's just raw and bleeding. And so what is exposed is muscle. And they take that skin off so that the hair won't grow back, or the wool won't grow back. And that's so that they can make extra money by not having to deal with poo, because it takes too much time. They also, when they, this is actually a third thing that they do. Everyone sort of thinks that they sort of, nicely shear the sheep. They don't. They do it as fast as humanly possible. They often nick and cut the animal's skin and leave it raw and bleeding, and it's a horrifying experience for the sheep, and that matters to me. And then the third thing that they do is that they, in order to neuter the males, they hog tie them, but they do it kind of high so that their feet, all 4 feet, are up here by their face, so that it exposes their genitals. And then what they do is they take hedge clippers and snip them off, and then they let the animal loose, and it's raw and bleeding, and there's no care for the animal. There's no pain relievers. There's no nothing, and so they just run away bleeding. And this is something that is extremely important to me. I don't want to see suffering in any creature. And before people get upset and say, well, do you treat people like the same way, or you don't care about people? And I've had people say that, and of course that's freaking ridiculous. Of course I care about people, but I also care about animals. And anything that is living and breathing and has a mom is something that I care for. And so if you want to see what, you want to make sure that I'm telling the truth, you can look up anything on the internet. You can put in any of that in a search engine, but I will also link a video below, so you can see it if you really want to. And I'm sorry if that depresses you, but I did warn you. You don't want to watch this. It's okay. And yeah, so I didn't get through too much of my closet this time, but I promise that I will make a little bit more effort for the actual closet next time. And so I will see you next time, and hopefully I will manage to get a video out a little sooner than I did this time. And starting to get a little hot in this closet. The last time it was freezing. So I will see you next time, and don't forget to comment below if you want to win that prize, and I will see you next time. Happy knitting!